Hello everyone, welcome back to New Wellness Concepts and My Wellness Session. Today we're going to talk about whole grains versus refined grains. Now I think this is a big problem, especially in the United States, because anytime you eat out at a fast food restaurant or a chain restaurant, you rarely get whole grains. What is a whole grain? A whole grain is a grain that still has the bran, the germ, and the endosperm intact, okay, versus a refined grain, which has been processed to the point that the bran and the germ has been removed. When you remove the bran and the germ, you lose fiber, you lose the vitamins and the iron. Now, anytime you see enriched on the label, that means they've tried to put the vitamins and the iron back into the product, but you still lose the fiber. So whole grains versus refined grains, there is no comparison. Okay, so what are we looking for in common examples of whole grains? And that is whole wheat, obviously, oatmeal, whole cornmeal, brown and wild rice are a good place to find whole grains. And now Bulgur wheat and quinoa are popular forms of whole grain. Where do you see refined grains? Well, almost everywhere, unfortunately. White breads, usually even the darker breads sometimes, crackers, pretzels, a lot of cereals, breakfast cereals are refined and enriched. You will see it in most pastas and any kind of noodle, and even flour tortillas. So very common to find in the grocery store, the refined and enriched. The recommended daily allowance for whole grains is a minimum of 3 ounces in a day for everyone, but the actual recommendation is about 6 to 7 ounces for women and children, and 7 or 8 ounces for men. So then the next question should be, well, what's an ounce? And it's not exact, but in general, a slice of bread has an ounce. A half a cup of oatmeal has an ounce. A half a cup of brown or wild rice has an ounce. A small biscuit or muffin of whole grain would have an ounce. A single average size pancake would have an ounce, that type of a thing. About 5 whole wheat crackers would equal an ounce. So again, it's not that you have to count anything, but just realize about what you're getting in a given serving. Whole grains are good for us because they do a lot for chronic health issues. It helps reduce coronary artery disease, heart disease. It can reduce or help prevent certain forms of cancer, especially colon cancer. It's good for the development of the fetus. It helps regulate blood sugar in diabetes. It can help with high cholesterol. It helps with weight management because the grains make you feel fuller for longer, so it can help make you a healthier weight. It can even help with the immune system and brain function, things like that. So whole grains are certainly the healthier choice. The whole thing about this is you're not trying to remove something from your diet. You're just trying to make a good substitute. So you can still eat the things that we've discussed. It's just try to make sure they're whole grain. So when you're looking at breads, make sure they are whole grain. When you're looking at pastas and noodles, those types of things, read the label and make sure it says whole grain and not enriched or refined. Other areas, especially flour tortillas, you can get those very easily whole grain. And again, just substituting brown and wild rice for white rice is very simple. The other thing you can do is substitute for pieces of recipes. You can use oatmeal instead of certain flours a lot of times. You can use them instead of breadcrumbs a lot of times, things like that. And even when you're snacking, just try to think about the whole grains. Popcorn is a great snack. Again, watch the butter and salt on the popcorn. But even whole grain cereals make a good snack. Even toast from whole grain Breads can make a good snack, so even with your snacks, try to make sure you're getting whole grains. The other thing is the labeling. They always try to trick us with the labeling, and they're going to put things on the label to make you think you're getting whole grain when you're actually not. You're going to see things like multi-grain, 7-grain. It'll say brand somewhere in there. It'll say 100% wheat. It'll say cracked wheat, those types of things. That does not mean it's whole grain. You have to read the label. The other thing is color. A lot of times people think if something is brown, a bread or a cracker is brown, it's whole grain. Well, if they add molasses to the product, it will turn it brown. So not only are you not getting the whole grain, but you're getting added sugars. So again, read the label. That's the bottom line. You have to read to make sure it says it's a whole grain and not refined and enriched. I hope this helps, and we'll see you the next time.